my beautiful internet friends. Thank you so much for spending part of your day here with me. For those of you that are brand new, a very special welcome. My name is Michelle Davison. I am not a makeup artist. However, I am a stay-at-home wife, mother of 4, and makeup enthusiast. And today, we're doing a get ready with me. I am feeling 2 things simultaneously. I am feeling smoky, dark, grungy, and I'm also feeling bright, summer, and colorful. So we're gonna see what we end up with. I have no idea. I just want to do a get ready with me. I've been watching a lot of Canadian beauties. Excuse me. I have this weird hiccup thing going on right now, and I don't really understand it. A lot of Canadian beauties content lately, and she has inspired me to do get ready with me content. She comes on every single day, and she's done it for like years. I went back pretty far on her channel. She's been doing it for years, but she just gets ready every day, and her content is so fun to watch. I've been binging it now for a while, I feel, and it's just so cool. So I was like, you know what, I want to do that. I want to come on here, and I don't really have anything going on. I don't really have anything exciting in mind, but you know what? I want to do makeup with my friends. So that is what I am doing. I also think it's really fun when us normies come together and just use our makeup, because a lot of times the people that post get ready with me's and tutorials and stuff like that, they're makeup artists. They are people who've gone to beauty school. They are very creative, and it is easy as a normie, and a normie who loves makeup but isn't incredibly great at makeup, to feel like building that community might be out of reach, or that you don't really have anything to offer because no one's going to come here for your makeup, or, you know, whatever. And it's easy to feel that way, and I don't want anybody to feel that way. I know that in my younger days, really truly though, because I've been watching this community for probably 15 years at this point, I would say, maybe a little bit longer. I felt the same way. I was like, wow, I don't even know how to do like winged eyeliner, and I've watched the videos and I've tried to do it, and I just can't figure it out. And so I've spent over a decade of my life wishing I could do my makeup like the girls in the videos, and just not being able to figure it out, and feeling like, oh man, well, I obviously am never going to be one of the girls in the videos. Until one day, it was actually Sean, just like everything else in my life, he encouraged me, and he was like, you are one of the girls in the videos. I'm like, how do you figure? He's like, you like makeup. I was like, yeah. And he's like, you like makeup, they like makeup. I was like, yeah, but they're, and he's like, you like makeup. You are one of the girls in the videos. You just have to be you. And I was like, you know, Sean, you're so right. You're so right. So I hope to be, at least to some degree, a support for people that still feel like that and don't have a Sean who is there to tell them that you matter and you have something to contribute, even if you can't do new and creative and innovative looks all the time, and you don't bring the same thing to the table that maybe the girls in the videos do. You still bring something great to the table, and that you matter. And I think that that's just a very important thing to just keep in the forefront of your mind when the whole beauty community has got something to say. Because yeah, girl, they have something to say. They all do. They all do. But I just love makeup so much. I feel like I do very samey looks, and I do, but they make me so happy. Like, you know when you get the shape of your eyeshadow just right, and you catch yourself in the mirror and you're like, wow, look at that shape. You know, it's just, it brightens up your day just a little bit. Or when you mix colors in a way that you never have before, and you're like, wow, I just gave new life to my makeup. Like, those are good feelings. Those are the good feelings that the beauty community will never tell you about, but they feel good. So I think I finally found my niche. I, of course, love the Project Pan community. I enjoy watching the content. I enjoy playing the games. I really, really, truly aspire to be them one day. But I am not great at working through my products. I feel like when I try to work on too many things at once, I get very overwhelmed. And then I have a hard time reaching for any of them because I'm looking at my trackers and I'm like, oh man, I'm supposed to update in like a week. And I'm at one goal or whatever. These are just, I've done slightly better than that this month, but, or I'll look at my empties basket and I'm like, oh man, like I'm a third through another month. I should have more in this than I do. Like, what have I been doing? And it's easy to just feel like, oh, like I don't belong. Like, because I'm watching my friends and they're killing it. Absolutely killing it. But then I have to remember everybody's journey is different. Everybody's different. And I may not be working through my products as efficiently as other people. And I may be not hitting my goals as quickly as I feel like I ought to, but you know what? I have never enjoyed my makeup collection more than I did this year. Never at all. I've tried to do a project pan a couple times. In fact, in the beginning of 2025, I was trying to do a project pan. That did not work out. That didn't work out at all. That wasn't my fault though. So I was trying to do Ghost Town from Nomad, and Sean and I had it all worked out, and he even told me that if I panned it, I would get a prize for hitting pan in every shade, and then he had a totally different surprise planned for me when I panned the whole palette. And I used it once in 2025, and I could not stand the creasing. The creasing on Ghost Town was absolutely horrific. I don't understand it because I've never heard anybody in the entire internet talk about the creasing to the degree I experienced. I tried it with a primer, I tried it without a primer, I tried it with various different lid setting shades. I tried everything. I tried different techniques. I tried patting, not rubbing it in with my finger. I tried so many things with Ghost Town, and I could never at any point find a way to get it the way I liked it. So that was a palette that I decluttered to my daughter. I call it decluttering to my daughter, but it's not really decluttering because, I don't know. Like, I could still use it if I want to. I just, haven't wanted to, That's one of those palettes I maintained control over. I didn't just hand it to her and say, here, because she is almost 5, but she destroys her palettes. So I would never be able to use it again if I did that. And some palettes I've given her in the past, I was okay with that. So, 3 of my old Anastasia palettes I gave to her, and she, on the first use, none of them had pan in it. By the end of the first use, there was nothing left in the palette. She totally panned it. Most of it ended up on the floor, but at least she got some enjoyment from it. So that's why I haven't done that yet with Ghost Town, because I do like the packaging of Ghost Town. I think that the shades are beautiful to look at. It is a palette that inspires me to look at, but man, I cannot stand that creasing, so I'm never going to use it again. But so that wasn't my fault. But as a result of that, I decided not to replace it with another Pan That palette for 2025. I decided I was just going to track what palettes I use every day. And then at the end of the year, I would see which palettes I organically reach for and which ones I don't. And I have been doing a pretty good job, if I may say so, at keeping track every single day of what I'm using. I'm actually very proud of myself for that, because I was skeptic. I was skeptic at first on how good I was going to do. The problem is, I'm bringing so much stuff into my collection this year. So much stuff. And I'm not even working with the same collection anymore. I was doing really good, and then I hit a bit of a slump. And once I hit this slump, I found it really hard to cope with my slump. And I turned to buying makeup. And so now I think I've added like 5 palettes to my collection this year or something like that. And I'll have to like double check and see exactly what that number is, but an absurd amount of palettes have been added to my collection this year. And so now I feel like I'm not working with the same collection. And I mean, granted, my most used palettes by far, as of the midway point, are palettes that were in my collection at the beginning of the year, which is really the way it should be. I'm just nervous. I'm nervous that the results are going to tell me about myself. They're going to tell me that none of my palettes are getting used as much as they would like, which honestly wouldn't surprise me, because I was watching, I think it was Megan's video at the end of last year where she went and talked about how much she used all her palettes, which really inspired me to do the same this year. And some of her figures, I want to say that her Tasha Denona Light Face palette, she used like, I might be totally making this up because I watched this video like half a year ago, but I want to say it was like in the 80s. She's like 80 times or something like that. And my most used palette by far has, I want to say 30 uses on it at the midway point. And that's Pastels. That's a very spring summer palette. So I think the lion's share of its uses, oh my goodness, I took this really far down. I'm gonna look like a raccoon again. I don't know, this always happens, but it's a very grungy look, so I suppose it's okay. I do need to add eyeliner for sure, or I'm gonna look super coony, super coony. I was fine, and then I kept adding more and more, and now I'm like, OMG. Maybe if I take it up, like, or should I just leave it? Maybe I'll just leave it, because I feel like the more I try to, yeah. This is one of those days where Sean comes home and he's like, hello. But, you know what? We were feeling grunge today, so it is what it is. But you know what I'm saying? Like, and now I have BoxyCharm, so I didn't have BoxyCharm at the beginning of the year. I'm going to keep getting palettes, which Sean and I were talking about this the other day. That in itself is not a bad thing, so long as they're all getting used. I just feel like even doing my best to reach for palettes I want to reach for organically and being mindful of the ones that aren't getting use, I'm not getting the numbers that some project planners are getting. And they have way more in their collection than I do. So I just don't understand what I'm doing differently. I guess there's also an added layer of guilt because I'm a stay-at-home wife and mother. Like, I can wear whatever makeup I want, whenever I want, and literally nobody has an opinion about it, ever. Which should be like a planner's dream. Like, I should be able to totally crush any goal I ever set ever. Because I can literally wear whatever makeup anytime I want. And so I think that just adds to the feelings of guilt at times of like, I should be doing better than I am. Why am I not doing better? Like, how are people that have real jobs able to tackle all these different projects simultaneously and succeed in all of them? So I am doing Panoply. I think I'm doing fairly decently at keeping track of my products in Panoply, but I want to do some other projects as well because they're fun. Like, somebody's doing a eyeshadow A to Z project, which I thought was cool. They're also doing Pan those eyeshadows, which I think is cool. Some people are doing Battleship, which I would love to do Battleship. So for real, if anybody has any of the same palettes as me and wants to do Battleship, please let me know, because I think it would be so fun to do that. And yeah, I don't know. It's hard to find your niche, I feel, because I want to be a panner so bad, but I don't feel like I'm good enough at panning to be a panner. And also it makes me feel a little bit guilty and like, I don't know, kind of like a wannabe when I end up buying new makeup, because then I'm like I find myself feeling guilty for showcasing some of my new makeup sometimes, because I'm like, okay, I know that of the people I follow, they've all been really strong and nobody has announced the purchase of a new palette in months, and I'm about to announce, 2 or whatever, and it's hard. But also I don't want to be a part of the over consuming club, because I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want to spend the money. I don't want the pressure of having to use up all that makeup. I just don't want it. So where do us normies go? Us normies kind of float in the middle of all of the niches, I feel. Like, we participate in the panning games occasionally, but get ready with me's, I think, is where us normies, I say that because I don't know if there's a label for us norms, normies. Norms just sounds too, like, serious, so we like to get ready with me's because we like to do makeup, but we like to do makeup with our friends. We like to talk about makeup. We like to watch people do makeup, but I feel like it's just profoundly boring when you're not getting through your stuff and you're just like a normal makeup lover person. I don't know. So it was nice to find another mom, another YouTuber that feels very similar to the way I do, and just to see her doing it every day. She shows up every day, does her makeup every day, and I watch it every day. I do. I think it's so fun. So I think I'm just gonna continue to post when I want, which I think is gonna become increasingly more and more get ready with me's, because I just think they're so fun. Like, I really enjoy it. I would rather spend my screen time like coming on here, doing YouTube videos, watching YouTube videos, than, I don't know, whatever else I used to do. Than watch like shows. I don't watch like any shows at all anymore, which I know is crazy. Like, as a stay-at-home wife, like, isn't that what you're supposed to do all day? No. I thought the same thing, though. I was like, I'm gonna have so much time to watch, like, One Tree Hill. I'll watch One Tree Hill again, and then I'll watch, maybe I'll watch Dawson's Creek again, or whatever. Haven't watched a single show. Now, I do scroll through Instagram and YouTube, and really those are the 2 big ones in my spare time. So I do interact with friends, but watching videos, consuming content is mainly spent on exclusively get ready with me content and project updates. I really like watching the panners pan, because it's just, I think it's so cool. Like, it really amazes me, and you'll hear them talking and they're just like, yeah, I have this single shadow from this palette in this project, and then next to it I have this single pan that's in this project. And I'm like, how do you know that? I'm once again putting a trillion things on my face because I'm really trying to tackle this guy right now. I saw some windowing last time I used it, and I was like, oh, the end might be near. So I'm really trying to get this one used up. But I also I'm trying to get better at taking care of my skin, so I'm trying to use my sunscreen more consistently. And I'm also trying to use this up. This is my Lumi Glotion, but I got this last summer. So it's getting old. It still doesn't have like a scent to it or anything, but I really use it as like a lightener. So when I have a base product that's just not the right shade, I'll add the Lumi Glotion and it'll make it wearable. Now that it's summer, we're having a very mild summer here in Washington. I know that I complain all day long about it being like 70 degrees, but truly we're having a very mild summer here. And it's raining more than usual, so I haven't been outside as much as I was last summer. So I haven't gotten as much of a tan as I would have expected, but my base products are better than they are for me during the winter. I am so disorganized. I'm not even going to try to rotate my foundations and face products based on the season. So once I open it, I'm using it until it's gone. So I tend to get things a little light most of the time. But like this product, I think I blindly purchased. No, this was my diamond gift. This was my diamond gift from last year. So I blindly ordered it online. But usually my foundation base products end up being a little light. Sometimes they're a little dark depending on when I purchase them. But I'm not even going to try to remember to rotate them by season. Otherwise, things are for sure going to go bad and not get used because I just have too many things to remember. I cannot take on anything else up there right now. So that is why I'm like, this is too dark. I'm going to try to use it anyway. Or this is too light. I'm going to just add more bronzer because you know what? We need to find a way to use our products. And Steph, I needed to find a different way to refer to all my Stephs because I reference like 4 of them on a pretty regular basis. And unless you know all 4 of them or watch all 4 of them regularly and know exactly what I'm talking about, I'm sure you guys are like, which one's that? Or you have a hard time. Didn't you say this about Steph? And I'm like, no, that's the other Steph. That's the YouTube stuff. So I started saying like the YouTube stuff and the Instagram stuff, which works for distinguishing the YouTube stuff because there's only one of them, but there's 2 Instagram Stephs. And one of the Instagram Stephs is also a YouTube Steph. So I need different ways to talk about my friends. But anyway, so when I was using the Peachy Glow blush yesterday, I still love it. I still stand by that. I found that it got a little bit messier than my Pretty Glow one. And honestly, I think it's the color. I've never used a peach blush before. So I think I was blending downwards rather than upwards. So today I really need to just take a little bit extra care and make sure I'm blending upwards because I had blush all the way down to here yesterday. And the formula is the same as with the Pretty Glow lilac one. It's not that it was the formula, it was definitely me and my application. So just slowing down a little bit and taking extra time to make sure we're blending up and not down. And now it's gorgeous. So yeah, that was totally a me fault. I kind of figured. So my husband and I we currently host a D&D game in our house every other week, but we're trying to join in on another one because we really like D&D. And this guy met with Sean I want to say 3 or 4 weeks ago at this point, and just to vet him and make sure that we'd be a good fit to join his table. Well, he sent Sean home with a bunch of reading material, like players' handbooks and even a book, a novel, just so that we would get a sense of kind of what he wanted to run, the kind of game he wanted to run. And we've been reading it, and we told him we really like the material. We're interested in joining. And he has not reached back out with any sort of updates or to ask, like, about his stuff back or anything. So I'm like, should we reach out to him again? Like, I don't want to, like, overly annoy him, with, like, okay, we still have your stuff. But I feel, like, pressure when we're borrowing stuff from other people. Because I'm like, oh, man, what happens if, like, one of the kids, like, colors in it or something? Like, I don't want to keep other people's stuff too long just because, they wouldn't, because it's, like, locked up in my room really high where they don't go to. But still, I'm like, please take your stuff back because I don't want to be responsible for it. Like, I appreciate you letting us use it, but please take it back because I would not be able to handle that guilt. Yesterday I used my lip liner for the first time, or a lip liner I guess it's my lip liner. What am I doing? It was a gift. Of course it's fine. And it was kind of obvious. I didn't know what I was doing because I looked like I had botched Botox. But it's not like I learned from my mistake or know what I'm doing today any more than I did yesterday. So here we go. Here we are. I think I'm trying to use this up this summer. It's the Bamboo 111 lip balm from Shiseido, but this is all I have left. I thought about throwing this in a project, but I don't know. I have some really impossible stuff in a project right now. Like, I have a goal of 50 uses on a Kulfi eyeshadow. But I am and have always been more of a palette girl. So reaching for a single shadow 50 times is just not easy for me. And I thought, because I like the color so much, it was going to be a lot easier. Is today the day, you guys? I've been saying for like the whole time I've been posting videos that today is the day. Is today the day? Let's see. Whew. I like breathed in right as, that was a bad choice. I do this every day. So I had to spray it like 500 times because what was happening is it was like squirting outward. It wasn't like, it wasn't misting. It was like more like spraying. But I think that after doing like 500 trillion, zillion, billion squirts, I was able to get a full coverage of my face. And it still sounds like there's a little bit in there. So I don't know if calling it today is the right call because I think that while it would be an equal struggle tomorrow, I think I still could get a day of use. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, I don't know what to do. But this is the look. I was definitely going for like Summer Grunge. And I think that this definitely gives Summer Grunge. I don't even think me taking down my eyeshadow that far. I'm bouncing my baby ears, so you guys are really hearing the jingle today. But I don't even think me taking it down too far down here is super noticeable now that the rest of my face is on. It's exactly what I wanted today. Summer Grunge. I don't know why I'm feeling so Summer Grungy. It's very sassy. I don't know. I'm not feeling very sassy today, but yeah, I really like the grunge palette. I really, really do. I am happy I brought it into my collection. Again, I discovered the Call of the Sirens palette like as soon as I purchased it. And I was like, oh man, like that also gives grunge, but that gives like colorful grunge. So there was a really, really big part of me, and there still is a big part of me, that's like, maybe I can have both because that's responsible. I'm going to tell myself a little bit here and tell you guys that yesterday, literally yesterday, I did buy another palette that's not Call of the Sirens, even though everybody that's ever talked to me in the past like 3 weeks knows that Call of the Sirens is the one I was like obsessed with. But it's Sean's fault. It's not my fault. It is Sean's fault. So that'll be a story for when it comes in, I think. So you guys get a little bit of a spoiler. But yes, so that is Sean's fault. Everybody blame Sean. Sean ruined the no-buy, but I did buy a new palette. It's not Call the Sirens. I still might get Call the Sirens. I don't know. We'll see. Because I am rotating through my palettes pretty well. I am. I'm not hitting pans, but that's kind of what happens, I feel, with pans. You get none for a while, and then they go boom, boom, boom. In fact, the next time I use Dirty Martini, I'm pretty sure if I don't hit pan the very next time, it's going to be within like 3 on like several shades. I've been working on that palette for years. Years and years and years and years. So everything has like equal wear almost. So once I start hitting them, I'm going to hit all of them. And I feel like that's pretty representative of all my palettes. So right now I'm just in the working on it stage. I'm not in the getting results stage yet, but I'm working on it. And that's how I'm justifying it to myself. So if you're watching this, Sean, I love you with my whole entire heart. And it's your fault. I'm going to blame you 100%. But I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for my makeup. But for everybody else, thank you for doing your makeup with me today. I hope you like the look. I know it's the middle of summer right now, but you know what? Summer grunge. Summerween? Summerween look however many? 4 or 5 at this point? I don't know, but it's like summer grunge because of the blush, so it's not entirely, I guess it's like peach, so I guess that is Summerween. I don't know, but thank you for spending part of your day here with me. I really appreciate it. As always, please feel empowered and encouraged to engage down in the doobly-doo or in DMs. I love talking about all things makeup, new makeup, old makeup, makeup techniques, makeup looks, and I look forward to catching you guys again soon. Bye!